Hello there and welcome to this episode of Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner. I'm Alan Waddell. I want to welcome you to this week's show. As Coach, this was a week where you started Southland Conference play, your first taste of Southland Conference action, and it started at defending champs Stephen F. Austin.
Well, very consistent with our preseason schedule, as tough as it was for us to start at Stephen F. Austin. Great program. I think they've won 24 straight league games up until last night's ball game, 25 now. Very well coached team, very disciplined team. So, being new here, I haven't had a great opportunity to, other than watching film, to familiarize myself with it and with the league. But I can tell you this: they're very well deserving of their stature in the league, and my hat's off to them. Very impressed with them. And it shows us, it shows us where we need to go. I'm glad that we played them first, because now we know what we have to do to get where we need to get.
Coach, talking to you off the air before we started taping the show here, just kind of the message was, hey, we've got to get tougher in these league games, and I think that's the point where you're trying to get the program to.
No question. Stephen F. Austin, very physically tough team. Not the biggest team we've played, not the most talented team we've played, but very disciplined, hard-nosed, and frankly, I was a little bit disappointed in our guys and the fact that I felt like that we were out hustled, and that's really one of the first times this year I'm gonna say that, but I certainly want to be honest, and that they just got after us a little more, and I think they wanted it a little bit more than we did. All
right, well, let's take a look at the first half highlights as the Lions were on the road in the Southland Conference opener at Stephen F. Austin.
Jenkins on the right side. Jenkins down low to Fillmore. Fillmore can't shoot. Baseline drive to Guillory. Guillory down low to Ochi. Ochi taking it, laying it up and in. 3-2, Stephen F. Ochi's got the Lions' first bucket, 2 minutes gone by. Rebound to Guillory. Drew's got it down the floor in a hurry, left to right. Drew trying to get around Pickney, going to lay it up high off the glass, and in. Drew got the bucket. 5-4 Lumberjacks. Barclay on the dribble, in some trouble. Bounce pass, threw it away. Charles pushed off and kissed one off the glass. Jay Ladner trying to get a timeout. Can't do it. Guillory's got it left to right in the front court. Guillory hits the jumper from 8 feet off the glass and the foul. Drew, 68, hits that one. It's a three-point play. It's 10-7. Stephen F. by 3. Pinkney has it right side. He's going to try to drive. He's spinning. Can't shoot. Hands off to Cameron. Cameron's taking it off the glass and in. 12-7 Stephen F. first half. Jackson bounce past Fillmore. Layup good. Little backdoor cut. Fillmore's got his first points of the night. Lions back to within one, 13-12. Truckload of free throw. Backdoor cut again. Fillmore from Jackson. Same play as a while ago. 16-14. Fillmore's got 4 points. And up top, he backdoor cut Maggio. Maggio off the glass. Good in the foul. Jackson had bounce pass back door, has worked twice with Fillmore, worked with Maggio there. Timeout on the floor. When we come back, Dylan will have a chance to give the Lions the lead. Here trying to give the Lions the lead. Free throw on the way, good. Maggio, that is his first free throw of the year. Walk-up free throw line, teardrop jumper. That one rattles around, no good. Tipped out of there, picked up and put back in by Gifford. Pinkney, Walkup trying to get around Guillory, will spin, fake right, go left, turn, shoot, that one good. Tough shot. Guillory, good defense. Walkup just made a tough shot. Greaves pushes him way out near the center circle. Floyd keeps his dribble alive, backdoor cut, and the layup up and in, good by King. Need a bucket here. Maggio keeps the dribble alive. Middle of the paint. Kicks it out to Fillmore to Jackson. Zay's going to drive. Middle of the paint. Going to take it in. Left-handed layup. Good. Ran the shot clock down to 1. Left-handed layup by Jackson. 32-24. Charles on the right side. They'll go down low. Reverse layup up and in by Walkup. 36-24. 4 straight by the Lumberjacks. Drew going to drive. Spin. Reverse layup. That one good. Nice shot by Guillory. Got hammered. No call. Got the bucket, though. 36-26.
Coach, down by 10 at the half over there at Stephen F. Austin. This was a game that, it was a 1-point game there, and they went on a little run right before half.
Well, we got in a lot of foul trouble. Yeah. We were in some severe foul trouble. I thought Ochi was playing very well. Was really one of the only guys inside that doing a good enough job rebounding the ball, and picked up his third foul there in the first half. Upson picked up his third foul. We had both of our starting 4 and 5. We had 3 fouls there at the break, and those last 6 or 7 minutes of the half, they extended that lead. It was back and forth 1-point game either way, and then they made a little run right just before halftime to get it into double figures.
All right, well, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the second half highlights right here on Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner.
Inside Southeastern Basketball with Jay Ladner is made possible by Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana. For over 30 years, Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana has been a premier landscape architect design company. Angelo specializes in both commercial and residential work. Angelo's offers their clients a buildable and realistic solution with a focus on design, construction, and proper maintenance techniques. Owner Angelo DiStefano, Southeastern class of 1972, invites you to visit Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana at 13750 Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, or visit their website at angeloslawnscape.com. Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana, a proud supporter of Southeastern and Southeastern basketball.
Inside Southeastern Basketball is made possible by support from Friends of Ginger Ford North Shore Fuller Center for Housing, located in Hammond, Louisiana. Ginger Ford North Shore Fuller Center is a nonprofit Christian housing ministry serving Tangipahoa and Livingston parishes. They strive to help low-income, elderly, and disabled citizens obtain safe, decent, and affordable housing by using volunteers to build and repair. Homeowners pay for the building materials based on terms they can afford. The Fuller Center is supported by 3 retail stores, which accept donated items from the public. The reused store features construction supplies, appliances, and furniture. The Fuller shop carries housewares and decorative items for the homes, as well as books, videos, and jewelry, while the Rabbit Hole sells gently used clothes, shoes, and fashion accessories. Visit all 3 stores at 955 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond, or call 985-419-0256 to schedule a pickup. For details on volunteer opportunities, find them on Facebook under Ginger Ford North Shore Fuller Center, or visit www.gingerfordnorthshore.org. Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner. I'm Alan Waddell. As the Lions were on the road against Stephen F. Austin, they trailed by 10 at half. Let's go back out and check out the second half highlights over there in Nacogdoches.
Got it. Having to bounce pass to Parker. Free throw line back to Johnson. Johnson layup good. 42. Front court's got it on the right wing. Baseline drive, layup on the way, good. Zay just beat his man and laid it up on the left wing. Pass to Charles, down low to Parker. Parker's shot blocked out of there by Ochi. Run down by Johnson. Lumberjacks got it back. Ochi got the block. But Floyd able to run it down. Floyd right side up top. Charles back to Floyd. Floyd, a little shake and bake move. Jackson not having any of it. Parker's going to take it. Going to spin, turn, shoot. Left it a little short. Rebound fought for. Ochi out there with it. To Fillmore. Fillmore's got it to Guillory. Guillory right wing. Going to put it on the floor. And back it out there. Jackson's got it. Contact. He and Pinckney. Fouls on Pinckney. That's his 4th. Into Jackson. Jackson teardrop jumper off the glass. Banks open. It's 44-33. Banked it from straight away in the middle of the paint from about 8 feet. Walk up top. Splits a double team, taking it up, laid it up and in, and Ochi's going to pick up his 4th foul as they stand there and try to take a Charles. One pass to Parker. Parker shoots a 3, hits it. 4th 3 ball of the night for Stephen F. They go one-on-one on Jackson, and the shot blocked by Jackson, picked up out of there by Ochi. Ochi to Jenkins. Jenkins lays it up and in. Got the turnover. Fast break on the other end. Legs trying to get around his man. Behind the back dribble, going to take it strong. Lay it up, and that one good. Counted and a foul. Foul is going to be on Cameron on court. Greaves to Jenkins. Cedric for 3. Yes, finally a 3 ball with 7:30 to go. 62-46. Need a couple more of those. Hit 2 or 3 of those. We're right back in this baby. Jackson, middle of the paint. Off the glass, good. Zay just, it's been there kind of all night for him. Kicks it out to Fillmore. Fillmore up top. Jenkins straight away for 3. Good. Jenkins has hit a couple of threes tonight. It's 70-54, 4:59 to go.
Coach, tough loss in the first game of the conference season. One thing I do want to mention that we noticed there from the highlights, Zay Jackson was back against Stephen F. Austin. He had been out the last couple of games for your club. I know how to be nice to have him back.
It really was. Zay's a leader force and an experienced player. One of the better players in the league, by the way. And He missed the last couple of ball games due to a sprained LCL. It was good to have him back in the lineup last night. Didn't start, and he's still not 100%, but LCL is not an injury that requires surgery, so been able to kind of get back into it last night and then have almost the rest of the week to be able to prepare for the Houston Baptist game Saturday. Hopefully he'll be full speed by then, but it's great to have him back out.
No doubt about it, Coach. One conference game in the books didn't go your way. What do you take out of that game going forward?
We got to get, they're the standard bearer here in the league, and we want to be the best. I mean, we've made that very clear, and that's where, that's the goal for our program. And we don't want to be satisfied with being a middle of the pack or a lower half division team. So what we want to do, they've shown us what we need to do. We've got to get better defensively. We've got to get better offensively. We have to play with more passion, effort, and again, I think last night's a good learning experience for us.
Since the break and only one conference game, not a lot of highlights this week, so we're going to take a look back at some memorable moments so far here during the basketball season.
Pass right side, Ochi. Ochi trying to get around this man. He'll spin, he'll shoot, lay it up and in. 10 points for Ochi. 35-19.
Again, they go to Upson. And here's a three attempt open by Fillmore, and he buries it.
Skips it across to Fillmore. Fillmore pull up, 15-footer, good. Guillory slaps the basketball. He's looking, gets it in the rump. Zach in the middle of Giants here, lays it up and in. Nice job by Zach Rumpf.
Had an open look. This is a deep three by Jackson. That's off. And then Upson with the rebound and the putback. He beat Wilcher and Karnowski.
To Jackson. Zay wide open for three on the way here. In and out, no good. Greaves the rebound. Stick back. That one's no good. Guillory on the putback from the backside. Got it up and in. As Dillon drives, lays it up, missed it. Barclay the rebound there. That one's in, and Barclay's got his first two. Nice baseline drive by Dillon, but he...
Going to be important to this program. Under 6 minutes to play first half. Jackson again falling away from three. And it's a 6-point lead.
Back to Jackson. Zay wide open for three. Yes. Jackson with a three straight away. 39-37. Drew hold it up and down low to Ochi. Ochi left alone will finger roll one up and in. He's got 12 here in the first half.
Time you've got to anticipate a more intense GU team to start.
How about that feed from Jackson?
Ball fired by Green. Jackson down to Guillory. He's going to drive baseline off the glass. Good. Counted and a foul. Finally got one of those. Just kind of taking it upon himself to try to make something happen. Hit the free throw. 6 games in 11 days. Ochi. Down low to go. Mazzio laid it up and in. Good backdoor cut. Good pick. Fillmore down low.
Shove on Pangos there. Got it inside. And the finish there by
two. Fillmore, middle of the paint. Bounces it to Guillory. Guillory drives. Off balance. Layup up and in. Guillory's got another bucket. Lions are on top by a off to Fillmore on the wing. Fillmore back around up top. Back to Greaves. Greaves launches a long jumper. Hit it. 3-ball Greaves. They left him alone. He knocked it out.
Well, Coach, we had a chance to look back at some plays from some games earlier this year.
Need some more of those.
Yeah, that's right. And, Coach, you look at the season, you still have 17 games left. Everything, all the goals you had at the beginning of the season are still ahead of you. Where do you have to go to get to those goals?
Well, then again, I think we mentioned earlier in the show, the great thing about playing Stephen F. Austin first is now it's not something we have to wonder about. This is about my first time in the league. It's most of our players' first time through the league. They don't have a lot of compare and contrast, but now we know. We've seen the best team in the league, or supposedly, according to the other schools and the other coaches, that they're the preseason #1 in our league. So we've seen what we have to do to get there. We would love another opportunity to play Stephen F. Obviously, that will be in the playoffs, and most likely it would have to be in the semifinals or finals of the conference tournament. That would be great if we have an opportunity to meet them again.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll have more right here on Inside Southeastern Basketball. Head Coach Jay Ladner.
Inside Southeastern Basketball with Jay Ladner is made possible by Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana. For over 30 years, Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana has been a premier landscape architect design company. Angelo's specializes in both commercial and residential work. Angelo's offers their clients a buildable and realistic solution with a focus on design, construction, and proper maintenance techniques. Owner Angelo DiStefano, Southeastern class of 1972, invites you to visit Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana at 13750 Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, or visit their website at angeloslawnscape.com. Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana, a proud supporter of Southeastern and Southeastern basketball.
Inside Southeastern Basketball is made possible by support from Friends of Ginger Ford North Shore Fuller Center for Housing, located in Hammond, Louisiana. Ginger Ford North Shore Fuller Center is a nonprofit Christian housing ministry serving Tangipahoa and Livingston parishes. They strive to help low-income, elderly, and disabled citizens obtain safe, decent, and affordable housing by using volunteers to build and repair. Homeowners pay for the building materials based on terms they can afford. The Fuller Center is supported by 3 retail stores which accept donated items from the public. The reused store features construction supplies, appliances, and furniture. The Fuller shop carries housewares and decorative items for the homes, as well as books, videos, and jewelry, while the Rabbit Hole sells gently used clothes, shoes, and fashion accessories. Visit all 3 stores at 955 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond, or call 985-419-0256 to schedule a pickup. For details on volunteer opportunities, find them on Facebook under Ginger Ford North Shore Fuller Center, or visit www.gingerfordnorthshore.org. Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner. It's now time to take a look at our Lion Profile of the Week. And this week we're going to take a look at the guy who brings you all the games with his voice, Lance Pittman.
Coach is going to drive, take it in, lay it up, and good. 58-43, 15-point. Lion lead. Jay Ladner calling a timeout here.
Well, Lion fans can't make it to the game. One tried and true means of keeping up with the Lions as they take the court is on the radio. Many of the Lions games are broadcast on 90.9 FM KSLU. And when you tune in, the voice of Lance Pittman is the one that will greet you. And Lance knows his Lion basketball.
Over the course of the season with the team that you travel with, obviously you're familiar with your guys and you know who they are and if they're hurt or if somebody's hit double figures for 10 straight games, you know all the little intricacies and stuff.
Lance is very familiar with the Lion players and coaches. It's the opponent he has to do his homework for. And most of the time, homework just isn't good enough. You got to get into the game to get a feeling about who is trying to beat the Lions.
The toughest part is once the season starts is learning a little bit about the other team. In the first 4 or 5 minutes of a basketball game, you can read numbers and names all day, but until you put a face with it, it's a little hard there in the beginning. But once a game kind of gets going, about 4 or 5 minutes into about that first media break, you're kind of familiar. You know who number 6 is for the other team or number 12.
One of the best aspects of Lance's job is when he takes his show on the road. Just this year alone, Lance has seen some pretty cool venues.
Just this year alone, we've been to Gonzaga, what I've never been to. I've never been to Oklahoma. I've been to Oklahoma State, but Western Illinois, Tennessee Tech, some of those places. You take it on the road. It sounds glamorous, and it is to a point because you do get to go to some really neat places.
Most play-by-play guys try and resist the temptation of being called a homer, where you get fired up for your team during the game, but Lance don't mind being a homer at this stage of his career, and he has accepted it.
In my early days, I didn't want to be known as a homer. As I've gotten a little older, I do. I want people to know that when we turn it over with 30 seconds left, or we give up that 3 at Western Illinois, I'm heartbroken. I mean, and if you don't get excited about your guys, then you need to be doing some independent broadcasting, because I've often said if you're going to be the voice of somebody, folks have to depend on you to describe to them what's happening on the court.
Early in his career, Lance paid attention to some pretty heavy hitters in the sports broadcast business, and that's where he formed his delivery of the game.
There was a guy named Jack Crystal at Mississippi State for 40-something years. He painted a picture. And so in my early days when I was in high school, I would just sit there and I'd go, and he would talk about at a football game, the sky is blue, the American flag is being whipped by the winds out of the west. Well, you're there, you know. And so when you're saddled with that, and I call it responsibility, but it's a great responsibility to have, I try to paint a picture.
Lance takes the same approach to every game, no matter if it's against number 5 Gonzaga or NAIA Dillard. He knows the listener or listeners depend on him because they can't be there.
One person could be listening, or 30,000 people could be listening, but they're dependent on how I describe it as to whether or not they're into the game or not.
Lance has witnessed the Lions' struggles this season up close and personal, and he breaks it down to personnel, or lack of, healthy personnel.
They have laid it out on the line every time they've tipped off, which is one reason I really enjoy this group. They know they're outmanned, we're outsized, we're out-depthed. But with all that said, these guys are laying it on the line. They're buying into what Coach Ladner wants to do. And as time goes on, these guys have gotten better and better and better.
For now, Lance will go back to work and back on the mic as the conference season heats up. But this season, broadcaster knows good things are right around the corner for Lion basketball. Coach, we've talked about this guy a few times on our program so far. I had a chance to do a profile on him this week. I want to be the first to really compliment him. I've really enjoyed listening to Lance. He does a tremendous job as the voice of the Lion basketball team.
You know, what's amazing is the feedback that we're getting throughout the country of how many people are listening to our games and paying attention to us throughout the United States. And, you know, Southeastern people are spread out throughout the United States, really, frankly, throughout the world. A lot of them are beginning to get excited about the basketball program, and they're queuing in. Lance is a huge part of that. And Lance gives us some consistency. I don't know if we've had, you know, really that as far as basketball has been concerned at Southeastern. It's my understanding that we didn't have that consistency in terms of a voice. That's important when you're talking about branding your program, and we want to have a class program. So that was one of the things that we wanted to address, as the many things that we're trying to touch here across the board. But Lance Pittman he's got a great experience in basketball. He's a very knowledgeable announcer, very professional voice, and I'm just echoing what I'm hearing from other people. Like I said, we're getting feedback from throughout the country what a great job Lance is doing as the voice of the basketball Lions.
There's no doubt about it. I tell you, just from being someone that's in this field, that's not an easy job to do, and he does a tremendous job. So make sure, if you can't make it on the road, to listen to Lance as he is the voice of our Southeastern basketball team. All right, Coach, well, I want to congratulate you that you're finally going to have a couple of home games. Now we have some home games in a row. Saturday you're going to take on Houston Baptist right here, and then turn around on Monday and take on Sam Houston State. So a couple of back-to-back home games. Our fans have a chance to come out and watch your team play a couple of times.
You know, normally the roles are flip-flopped, and you have to get kind of used to the change of routine of being on the road. Ours are different. We've got to get used to the routine of playing at home. I know that's very odd, but that's the way the cards were dealt this season. Is that most of our games have been on the road. Our guys have taken, even though we've played 2 exhibition games, 2 home games, we are undefeated here. They're taking pride in that, and that gives us something to build on. And you know what? I've been extremely pleased and impressed with our home atmosphere. You know, the fans have been excited. You know, all the games that we've had, very few have been played when our students haven't been here. And these 2 games will be, you know, no different. But the excitement of the cheerleaders and the dance team, the pep band, they all do a great job. And we have it's not as big as we would like, but we have a very loyal group of hardcore Lion fans.
You know, you speak about those hardcore Lion fans. That's something I want to bring up next. As at our next segment, we're going to bring Cody Gogler in, as he's going to talk more about the Hardwood Club. And I want to get your thoughts on this, Coach. I know this is something you're very excited about, and something that you're really pushing since you've come here at Southeastern. Is really the building of the Hardwood Club as the booster club for your basketball program?
Well, I'll say this about Cody and his staff with Roe over there at the Hardwood Club. They are doing a great job, and we have over tripled our membership compared to last year with Hardwood Club. Again, not where we want it to be yet, but when you talk about tripling membership in less than a year, that's certainly we feel good about the direction we head in. And I think it's also indicative of the excitement that people are having for our program. You know, for a very small $150 membership fee, you get a meal. They have a meal prior to every single home game, exhibition or regular season home game, that you can go into the Hardwood Club room and eat a nice meal and talk basketball. The coaches will actually come in at some point during that hour prior to the game and address the crowd that's in there. From what I understand, it's been very well received, so we want to continue to do that.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, Cody will join us on set right here on Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner.
Inside Southeastern Basketball with Jay Ladner is made possible by Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana. For over 30 years, Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana has been a premier landscape architect design company. Angelo specializes in both commercial and residential work. Angelo's offers their clients a buildable and realistic solution with a focus on design, construction, and proper maintenance techniques. Owner Angelo DiStefano, Southeastern class of 1972, invites you to visit Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana at 13750 Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, or visit their website at angeloslawnscape.com. Angelo's Lawnscape of Louisiana, a proud supporter of Southeastern and Southeastern basketball.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner. As now we welcome to the set the Assistant Athletic Director for Development here at Southeastern, Cody Geigler. Cody, thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us. We talked about it with Coach Ladner before we went to break, but really want to talk about this Hardwood Club and what all it does for Southeastern basketball.
Yeah, the Hardwood Club is the principal fundraising arm for Southeastern basketball, and I believe this year Coach Ladner has increased membership by at least 30 or 40 members at the minimum, and they've really kind of taken it and run with it. Those funds support anything from summer scholarships to getting extra equipment, helping with meals on the road, whatever they need funds for. That's what the Hardwood Club supports. And our fans have been really receptive to the new structure we've put in place this year.
I don't think there's any doubt. And Cody, you're a guy that is like me, that's been around Southeastern for a while, a student here, now working with the university. And I know we're all very excited about what Coach Ladner is doing with basketball.
You know, it doesn't take you very long whenever you're around Coach Ladner to realize how special he is. And one of the best things about Coach Ladner is he's going to do the work that you wouldn't necessarily anticipate someone with the status of a head coach doing. He likes to be involved with the community. He likes to do all the things necessary to fundraise at this level. And on top of that, he's put together a staff that I really believe in as well. And although the record may not show it right now, I think our fans, the ones that are very knowledgeable about this program, understand where it's headed, and there's going to be some very good days ahead.
I don't think there's any doubt. And before we let you go, I want to get you to comment now. We finally have a couple of home games. It's been a brutal schedule for Coach Ladner. He's been out on the road, but now Saturday and Monday will be 2 home games right here at the University Center as the Lions are in conference play.
Yeah, back-to-back. It'll finally give us, like you said, the chance to get home and play in front of our fans. You know, we haven't had very many home games this year, but we're undefeated at home. You know, it's obviously the home field advantage is huge in college basketball, and it's a good opportunity for us to kind of establish ourselves early in the Southland Conference and kind of get into that new season on a positive note. We'll have the Hardwood Club pregame meal at 6 p.m. If you're a Hardwood Club member, we encourage you to show up and enjoy the food and enjoy the game plan that Coach Ladner and his staff will lay out before the game. And hopefully we get a good W on Saturday and then beat Sam Houston on Monday.
Well, there you have it. That's Cody Geigler, Assistant AD for Development here at Southeastern. That's going to do it for us. For Coach Jay Ladner, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next time right here on Inside Southeastern Basketball with head coach Jay Ladner.
Back to Jackson. Zay wide open for 3. Yes.